In the other labor dispute, you received a petition today from 200 cab drivers. Are you going to get involved personally in the talks? And what about the request for more licenses?
Yeah, a petition was delivered to my office early this morning representing the cab drivers that are currently on strike with Veterans Cab. As we all know, they're represented by CAW Local 195. In their petition to myself, they're requesting for direct involvement vis-a-vis a mediator role between the parties, as well as consideration of issuing, if you will, permits so that they may operate their cabs. At the outset of these discussions and at the outset of the strike, we've indicated that the circumstances surrounding this labor dispute were considerably different than the circumstances that surrounded past disputes that warranted our involvement. In the past, there was let me back up. I think it's important to recognize that our role, the city's role, and the only role that we can play is to represent the public interest. The drivers are represented by their union, the company's represented by their negotiating team. Our role as a city is to represent the public interest. And in the past, that public interest was being impacted from the perspective that the level of demand was not being met or picked up by other services. This time around, thus far, it seems that the demand by the public has been somewhat met. And what I'll do is I'll review those numbers and have a discussion with the licensing commissioner to determine whether or not the public demand is being met. Also in the past, there was an opportunity for the city to play a role to bridge the difference, if you will, between the two sides as it relates to the fare rate and the meter rate. But as most of you will recall, several months ago, the City Council approved and agreed to a substantial meter rate increase, making it very unlikely that there would be any other meter rate increase taken anytime soon, given the fact that the large meter rate increase was just passed most recently, and given the fact that any further meter rate increase would have an unreasonable impact, if you will, on the public, certainly in light of the continued decline of the use of service by the public as well.
Eddie, do you have any concern about this strike, given that we are moving into festival season? We got Red Bull at the end of the month, and things really start to kick into high gear.
With regards to the taxi strike?
Yeah, the taxi strike.
Oh, with regards to the taxi strike, absolutely. I think it's important for them to get back to the table and for them to work out the differences. The service, and there are a lot of young people that rely on the service, and there are a lot of seniors in our community that rely on that service. So festivals aside and big events aside, the current service and the provision of that service to the Windsor public and community is very important, very valuable, and very much needed. With regards to larger events, we'll just have to make provisions, and I'm sure that the public will. The larger events are destinations unto themselves, and people want to be there. They'll find ways to get there. But again, we hope that they can resolve the difference. I think the last strike was right in the middle of the Super Bowl. And this strike was currently, certainly they missed the opportunity with regards to the Final Four. So it's not out of the realm of it hasn't been custom for them to go on to be on. It's been custom, I should say, for them to be on strike during large events. And it's not out of the realm that the festival goers or the event goers will find other ways. Obviously, we'd like to see our drivers back at work so that they can certainly benefit from these events and benefit from the dollars that these events bring to the city and to the region.